Welcome to the 189th episode of News Dump, where we run through the hottest topics in the Lewis County news scene and discuss. I'm local man Aaron VanTuyl, joined as always by Chronicle executive editor Eric Schwartz and Chronicle photojournalist Kody Christian. And we're joined in spirit by sponsors Summit Funding, Chehalis Outfitters, and The Roof Doctor. I have no preambles. We took last week off because... what was going on? We had the Lewis County Athletes of the Year thing.
Chronicle Athletes of the Year. Branding is important, Aaron.
Chronicle's Lewis County Athletes of the Year.
It was good. I do remember when we ran sports as its own thing for like 4 years there. LewisCountySports.com.
Yeah, that was interesting.
And then we remembered that does not encompass Tenino and Rochester, and now Rainier and Tumwater and Black Hills.
And the actual LewisCountySports.com website has lapsed?
Yeah, I think so.
Nobody knows what's going on there.
We've got some other exciting sites though. Some domains might come alive at some point.
Oh,
yeah. Leave it
share?
at that.
Are they just going to be a surprise, or do we get to know about some of these?
It'll be a surprise. I'm just thinking of all the Kody websites we should buy.
The Codical?
Yeah. That'd be really good.
Hey, how do you know I don't already own it?
Kody, I guess you guys already talked about state enough on Sports Dump. Did you enjoy the sports awards, Kody?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty fun.
You made a few appearances on the live video. Was that big for you to get that kind of exposure for your photography?
It was. I think a lot of people saw that, and they saw me in my Chronicle polo, and they're like, oh, my God, this kid means business. I need to hire him to take my photo, you know?
Had you work in the crowd, and then Ridley doing the portraits of them with the Chronicle background.
It's gonna come back to shoot you in your foot. You're gonna lose your photographer because all the big papers that watch our lives are gonna see that. They're gonna come knocking on my emails.
Look at this shaky live video of this teenager's work from Advent. It's wonderful.
Hey, I'm gonna prove him wrong.
You act like there's multiple newspapers out there with a larger sports staff covering high school sports than the Chronicle. It's just like, we gotta add this guy.
Yeah.
What a world. Any other preamble stuff?
No,
we got a lot.
Unless you want to talk about how you get rebates on online purchases.
I do not.
Are you sure you don't want to talk about that?
I will not.
Private? Sergeant?
I will not respond to these allegations. How dare you?
Thank you for your service.
News items. First up, something abuzz in a barn. Removing a beehive in Napavine with the Bee Wrangler. Glad to see you're continuing barn season. Anything involving a barn, you will send as many reporters as you can.
Send your barn tips.
So this was Saturday, and Rob Jenkins of Bee Wrangler Honey showed up to remove a beehive for free. He also gave a step-by-step tutorial on how to do this. Local beekeeper Debbie Cornell also helped with the removal and was in the story. And then there was some kids who were getting into beekeeping that were there too.
Yeah, Owen Sexton, our reporter, suited up in the bee suit for this thing so he could get up close and personal with the bees.
That's cool.
All but his hands.
Oh, his hands were exposed?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Owen's a brave man because he's like, yeah, I needed to take photos, so I just didn't wear the gloves. And he said he didn't get stung once.
No, these bees were chill.
Yeah, he was all up in there too. They didn't even care.
My favorite quote from the story was one of the kids learning said, "Don't the pheromones they release smell like bananas? I can't tell if they're mad or okay." I thought that was good.
And then he said, no, they're pretty calm right now. They're chill. Yeah, he lots of bee facts Owen shoved in here.
That's good.
Just
I mean, if you got a story about bee removal, you're going to cram some bee facts in there.
I also liked his Jenkins's quote where he said, "I'm a beekeeper, so if you see me start to run, you better run too." Mm-hmm. It was fun. But yeah, no, I enjoyed that from him. We had photos of Jenkins down in Winlock when there was a bunch of bees swarming right next to the Winlock Dance Center a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Just good photos. Good stuff.
All right, next news item. Mock crash trial funeral highlight traffic safety week activities at Toledo High School. Two Hands on the Wheel is the name of this event.
It's the name of the group that puts it on. Toledo students.
I thought it was the event.
Toledo leadership students.
It included an assembly and presentation by the Washington State Patrol about distracted driving on Tuesday, a heightened police presence in the Toledo area Wednesday for traffic education and enforcement, a mock crash, mock funeral, and a mock trial on Friday. I would have liked to see the mock trial where some kid gets convicted and the next morning his girlfriend flies her Toledo High School flag upside down, like Kody after Adna lost the state baseball championship last year in protest.
Is that true?
This isn't the sports dump. Baseball season's over. Like, I haven't even talked. What is the point of that, man? Holy, oh my God.
Did you guys do anything like this last year?
It.
Like a mock trial or mock?
No, we never really had anything like this in my school.
The fine folks that in high school were just like, do your best.
We just drive good, I guess.
Cody, you shot this with your photos. Tell us about the event. Was it impactful? Do you think anyone just left and was like, you know what? I'm not going to look at my phone today, or I'm not going to be distracted.
I'm going to focus on this beer.
Exactly.
I'll tell you who did the impact, and that was me because I think the real hitter was they had the mock crash out at the stadium. Well, first there was just a fantastic video made by the students that they showed to the student body. It was like in the form of a TikTok almost. It was like a vertically cropped, and they were driving, and the kid goes to change a song on his phone, and it all goes black, and you just hear like the movie sound effect, like the
nice.
And then they're like, okay, everyone walk out to the football stadium, and there's just two cars collided, and there's all these kids. They were alive, of course. They were breathing.
Yes.
But they had makeup on to make them look like they were injured and dead. And some of them were on the ground, and others were like through windshields. And then they had first just a cop car and an ambulance showed up. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then like probably 10 more first responder vehicles followed after them. And I was like really surprised. They filled up the whole track, and everyone got out, and they put the quote unquote dead kids in body bags. It was pretty crazy. And the photos are kind of surreal because it's just like this crash scene reaction, and then there's just a bunch of kids just watching in the background at the stadium. And like one of the photos, there's like a body bag on top of a car with blood leaking down, and then there's all these kids watching in the background in like a whole football stadium. And I was thinking, like, if I put this in like a portfolio with no context, like what would people think happened? So that was kind of cool. And then the real kicker was when they went back and had the funeral. There was I believe it was one of the teachers at the school gave a speech about the two students that died in the reenactment of a crash, and not reenactment, the acting out of the crash.
Yeah, the mock crash.
Yeah, and she even started crying. Like she got really emotional, and like I saw some students even crying about it.
Good acting.
Like, yeah, it was good. Yeah, and and she was talking about like not only did like he take the lives of his friends, but like ruined all of their families and stuff like that. Just like everyone it affects. And I think that was the real kicker. And then they had the trial, and the kid got arrested, and they had a real judge there and a real attorney.
You know which judge it was?
I don't remember. No, I can't tell you off the top of my head, but it was a real trial. He had his orange jumpsuit on. They cuffed him, took him away for, I think he got 20 years. Yeah, it was good. And then on the way home, I was driving back to the office, and a song came on I wasn't really vibing with, but I was just about to grab my phone and change it. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not going to be responsible for the death of people's kids, you know?
That's great. What was the song that you weren't vibing to?
I don't remember.
Always trying to get deeper into Cody's mind. Trying to understand this younger generation. Your photos were great, though. You did a good job.
Thanks. Yeah, that was a fun assignment. I really liked it.
All right. Next item, investment group gets the okay to convert some rooms in former Centralia hotels to permanent housing. This is the Sage Investment Group. They requested a zoning change back in October and got denied. Then they tried again last week and got approved.
Yes.
They bought the Oyo, the Motel 6, and the King Oscar. Truly the boardwalk and park place of Centralia, if you know anything about real estate. And they're gonna put some hotel rooms and then also some apartments in there.
Yeah, I think at bottom floor it's got to be commercial, so the hotels will be on the bottom floor, and I think they're gonna have housing up above.
Okay.
You looking to move? Looking to relocate?
I'm not.
Want to return
it sounds
to
like
King Oscar? I heard you used to hold court there often.
Whoa. There's some sick parties in there, man. There is about 300 people on the wait list to get into these apartments, they claim. Hey, do you think that's true?
I do. I absolutely do.
Right.
They're really, I mean, they're not, I don't think they're what you're imagining. I think the Motel 6 one's getting a little closer to being done, or it might even be done. But the photos they've showed us where they've done this before, it's a nice little space. It's a very tiny space because you're working
fine.
in the hotel room. But they got a little kitchenette in there and bed and shower and yeah.
I know what a hotel room is.
No, but it's been converted into a living space. It's not.
What is the difference?
There's a kitchen.
You'd have to see a photo. Yeah, there's a little kitchen in there.
Okay.
Hotel rooms don't have
They've
kitchens
just made
usually.
it to where someone can live there, basically. Whereas a hotel, you'd need extra amenities.
I mean, some people would.
Yeah.
How much is the rent for a hotel room?
Well, in Eugene, Oregon, currently, you can get one near Eugene, Oregon. You can get one for $160, I think. I only say that our Chronicle reporter
Per month or day?
per day. I don't know about weekly rates. I don't think I've
No,
stayed
you said
in
they're
a
like
hotel.
making them like apartments, right?
Yeah,
So I was wondering what the rent is
I
for
don't
like
think
one of
they've
those
announced
hotel
it.
apartment rooms.
yeah, they did announce it for the Motel 6. If I'm wrong, you can find it on Cronline, but I think my memory serves it was anywhere from like 900 to 1100, somewhere in that range. Dang. But that's a bargain for if you're trying to rent a place yourself these days.
Yeah, I'll stay at home.
Okay.
Oh, you were exploring it as a possibility.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
There was a lot of comments on this story too that people were very upset about.
Well, I mean,
existing and,
yeah,
sure.
I don't know. I know we need housing. I know not everyone's going to be able to afford to buy a new home. One of these homes is being built at several developments. It seems like a positive thing. I did see one person upset that there were people living in them previously who had to leave when the new developer bought them. But the best criticism I saw was screenshot and sent to me by Chad, and it was just good practical writing advice from former podcast guest Jamie Lund. Just imploring us to use our active voice when reporting. And he had to read 4 graphs before he knew who the investment group was. And he was absolutely right. You could probably find some other stories where it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Sausage making on deadline. It's not pretty.
Next item, mail bound for Onalaska stolen from the Chehalis post office. 3 trays of mail were stolen off the dock last week in Chehalis. It was bound for Onalaska. I only mention this because the only plausible way to solve this crime is to find Amber Rushton, the convicted mail thief, in the prison and approach her Hannibal Lecter style to ask about locating a mail thief in Onalaska.
Is she still in prison? I guess she would be.
According to the comments,
Do you think she steals mail in there and like stashes it under her mat?
No, I think you're going to have to approach her and she'll be like, quid pro quo, Clarice. And situation.
I found it interesting that it took Chehalis police all this time to announce something that people need to take quick action against in order to protect their identities. This happened on May 28th. We got an email about it, and I couldn't confirm it on Friday from I believe it was a gentleman out in Onalaska who was just doing a one-man effort to let everyone on the internet know about this, just posting the letter everywhere. And all the details that he had were factual based on this, so they don't know why it took that long.
Yeah, interesting. All right, next up, GOP-backed lawsuit could prevent voters from seeing potential fiscal impact of Washington state initiatives. Jim Walsh, your best friend, seen in the photo accompanying this story, looking suspiciously at someone who attended public school, is climbing upon a soapbox to deliver a ha period in response to this move. So a new law says the state has to add financial impacts to initiatives, anything that runs and is up for a vote in front of voters about rule changes, Surely you've all seen initiatives.
The big one's the Climate Commitment Act this round.
Yeah.
I mean, there's others too, but
Walsh and Republicans universally hated these impact statements, and yet polling says 82% of people actually like them.
it depends on how it's
Read
framed.
the room.
There's no
Jim
way
Walsh.
82% of people would agree with that statement if they knew that the Republican Party was opposed to it. There's just no way.
That says more about the Republican Party than about people
it says
answering
more about
a poll.
politics than about the Republican Party. I'm just saying there is literally no way 82%. We'll see if we see 82% approval. Maybe I'll believe it.
Okay. Anyway, Walsh, betwixt devious cackles, said, "Our friends outsmarted themselves. They were very specific when they passed the warning label law. But they were so specific that the law doesn't apply to any of the initiatives that go before voters this year. The case is so clear-cut, I'm surprised we have to take this to court. It's so sane, your head is spinning."
Spot on impression.
Is this a Barb like a Streisand situation where you oppose something so much you just draw more attention to it than it would have gotten if you just shut up?
I guess we'll see on the ballot. The polling's all over the place depending on who's offering it and depending when and what the methods are. The fact is there was enough percentage to get this on the ballot, which says a lot to me. I know that you're going to say the big financial backer. There was still 400 and some thousand signatures. Personally, I feel a bit conflicted because I would want to know programs that would be affected by something I'm voting on. The conflict comes, I don't know how much I would trust it coming from a government who it's in their best interest to maximize the prediction as highly as possible.
Yes, but I mean, it's going to work that way for everything.
No, I understand. I'm just saying, in this individual case here. But do you think that the CCA will be repealed, or do you think it'll remain?
I haven't heard anything either way on it.
Really,
Really,
sort of education on this. I see.
no, I haven't.
Maybe read the Chronicle from time to time. Don't just search
clearly
Lewis County Commissioners Jim Walsh.
Clearly, I did. I saw this picture of Jim Walsh. Just
Did I take it?
No, did you? I don't know. Let's see. I think it's just a file photo of.
I have it pulled up.
It's a Ridley photo.
Damn.
I just assume that if it doesn't, if the initiative doesn't pass and the CCA remain, or if it did pass and the CCA was rejected, they would just increase the gas tax by whatever they need to keep these things going.
Sure.
The other thing I'm getting a ton of now is news releases from every state agency on what is funded, like, these solar panels, this electrification, this. So there's a push there from the government itself.
Yeah. Well, luckily, Jim Walsh has never complained about something costing money.
No, never once.
Not ever.
That photo was a good photo of him, too. He's just kind of he's analyzing the crowd.
Speaking of Hannibal Lecter, he's got some vibes in this photo. Next item, live, love, bee. But it's a bee as in a bumblebee. Pride returns to downtown Centralia. This is disgusting. People parading around the hub city dressed as bees. Not a single Nazi showed up this year. So much for inclusion. But seriously, this looked great. I'm glad it went well.
Yeah, Kody and Ridley both went over and got photos. Also very happy that the white supremacists did not return, though they continue to operate and I use they, just all white supremacists, and this being an element of them, a music store in downtown Centralia that is
still there,
backed by a whites-only religion.
Surely our county commissioners will write a strongly worded column in the newspaper about this.
Well, the Centralia mayor definitely wrote something strongly written about it.
But we have a commissioner that lives in Centralia that surely is aware of this.
Who are you referring to?
Our elected county commissioner, Sean Swope.
There we go.
Who will write a column about any time he sees a picture of a man in a dress, will run to his typewriter and start hammering away a screed for you to put in your opinion page.
Anyways,
but you put on your swastika to go buy some records, and he says nothing.
The High Country News, which I'm not very familiar with the background of it, but they had a story that came out, I believe this week. It was sent to me this week by a reader. When I say long form, I mean long form story. It was a bit. I couldn't finish it. I just literally ran out of time. But it kind of revolves around Centralia being a place that fosters extremists. I thought it was a huge reach. I thought there were elements of it that were really well written, but it seemed to attempt to tie the 1919 Centralia massacre with that white supremacist event at the Pride Assembly, and it seemed to bridge too far for me.
Yeah, I mean that was over 100 years ago.
Yeah, it was really well written though. I
couldn't quite connect the dots on it.
No, I mean
couldn't land the plane.
I got where they were going with it. It was kind of like the NPR crew that came out here, and they were writing about TransAlta shutting down and comparing it to these little tiny coal facilities shutting down in West Virginia. And hopefully they never hear this. They almost certainly won't. But when they left after we interviewed, I was like, man, they talked their bosses into a trip to the West Coast, because I don't see the similarities there.
And right then, Zach walked in and was like, I want to go to Eugene.
Exactly. Did I say what Zach's covering down there?
Jeremiah Nubby throwing the discus at the championships?
I think so. Yeah. I hear he's got a shot at the Olympics. Maybe.
He should. He's pretty good.
That would be cool.
We will be sending Zach down to the Olympics to Paris.
I was gonna say there is 0% chance of Nubby or Newbie, however you say it, going to Paris Olympics. That Zach's not going to come in and ask if he can go and make me run it up the flagpole to see if it's a possibility.
I would chip in to send Zach to Paris, only if he promises to live blog himself in Paris every day, just trying to order at McDonald's.
I would want him to attempt to cover the Olympics for the Chronicle, like the Olympics, all of it.
Applying for a press pass.
Exactly.
What do you mean?
Like doing live videos all over the place.
The whole thing.
Yeah, no local angle.
Yeah,
just him at the the gold medal game for men's basketball.
Shit, he's gonna need a photographer with him, right?
Yeah, Zach. Mr. James, can you explain your decision to sit out the fourth quarter of this game?
The funny thing about working at this newspaper for Chad Corley Taylor is, having said all of that, I don't know what they'd say. Like, they might very well be like, yeah, sure, we should send him.
Yeah,
like,
honestly.
they're that supportive. And
You can go, but you have to wear this I-5 Toyota shirt the entire time.
never mix our advertising and coverage. There's enough of those BS claims to joke about it.
Yeah.
This is a very serious podcast.
Never a boring day.
Yeah.
No, not with that boy around. Anyway, next item. Fundraiser aims to help WFS bowler get to Detroit for the National Bowling Tournament. This is Savannah Hoyt-Seiler. She's a junior at WFS, I believe, soon to be a senior. Shared an invitation to the National USBC 2024 Junior Gold Championship in Detroit, which happens in July. Fairway Lanes is having a tournament called Savannah's Journey to Junior Gold fundraiser tournament on June 23rd to help cover the costs. And this just sounded cool, and the headline made it sound a lot like an 80s movie, or at least the plot to Kingpin. Mm-hmm. I like that.
No, it was
more
fun.
of this. It was cool. I'm sure Zach will go cover this too.
She's she was earlier in the week prior to the publication of this, the bowler of the year.
Yeah. The Chronicle Athletes of the Year Awards.
Yeah. Bowler of the year. Big deal.
Cool.
Are there no and maybe it's a Title IX thing. Are there no boys bowling teams? I don't ever see any boys bowling teams.
I'm not sure. I don't think there is.
And we only have 3 schools that do it: WFS, Centralia, Rochester.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Next item. Retiring Centralia City Manager Rob Hill, honored after almost 14 years of service to the hub city. This was last Tuesday. Public Works Director Kim Ashmore recalled when he first met Hill as one of the 3 final candidates back in 2010. Ashmore had to take them all around and show him the city. And my initial thought when he was relaying the story was Ashmore doing a trading day style of tour with.
It's unbelievable to me that you said that, because that was my very first thought when I read that as well. I was like,
You like to get wet, Rob?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking.
But instead, Ashmore says the other 2, they wanted to see the city. They wanted to see departments. They wanted to see what makes the city tick. Rob did not want to see that at first. We hopped in the Jeep Liberty out here, and he says, I want to see where it floods. I want to see where the choke point is on the Chehalis River.
It was a wise move in Centralia.
Yeah,
that's
a
a good first move.
The same meeting was also Stacey Denham's last as police chief. He's off to the Mint City to be a city manager. So long, Stacey. And Andy Caldwell is taking over, at least interim police chief.
Man who caught OJ.
He did. The man who caught OJ in the most famous OJ trial of all, the one in Vegas.
Gotta say, and we've shared this off mic a week or 2 ago, Rob Hill, you put it the best way, so maybe you should say it. He did it the right way. He's been here 14 years, not a whiff of controversy out of that guy.
You never hear a lot about him, which is good. That's what you want.
I think, there was controversy immediately following his hiring. I remember there was a bit of a kerfuffle over public records, and by a bit of a kerfuffle, I mean the Chronicle sued to get the evaluation of his work. Eventually got it, but yeah, he's been good, and there's never been a time where we haven't been able to reach him. For I'd say the same about Joel Anderson and Chehalis. Just very cooperative and good, and obviously Stacey's been on this podcast several times, so we're pleased with him as well.
Yeah, it's never a bad thing when somebody in a significant local leadership position like that is, at least in terms of the newspaper, boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you don't want a firebrand or somebody exciting in there. That means something crazy might be happening.
He's been a good neighbor too, since City Hall's right across the street.
Yeah.
We'll have to get Denham on, maybe give him a month in, and then maybe have him come in here and talk about the differences between the 2 city governments.
Yeah, that'd be
which is better.
Could be interesting.
I think it'd be fun. He rang the bell to open the Chehalis Farmers Market this morning.
I didn't know that was Cody was over there. How was that?
They told 3 different people told me all about how Denham was there ringing the bell to open him up. They thought it was pretty cool.
Huh. This is kind of like the Ronald Reagan, Jimmy Carter, Iran hostages situation. But he officially started in his role on Saturday as city manager in Chehalis. And Mitchell filed a story today that the county has dropped its lawsuit against Chehalis on the homeless shelter issue.
Really?
Yeah, I'll have that story up on Chronline probably tomorrow.
Wow, he went in there and solved it.
Yep.
Look at that.
Dropped it right away. And then Chehalis Police Department still, don't know if this is unrelated, they joined Project Guardian today, which is something he brought to the Centralia Police Department. That's the one where if you have someone with like learning disabilities, like autism was the example used, but you sign up. So first responders will have a photo, information on things that might like trigger you, and like a few other notifications just to make sure their response is good. Good program.
Good. Yeah, cool. All right. Anything else, or do you want to hit what we might have missed at the end?
I will hit that at the end.
All right. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Jeff and Julie from Fairway Lanes.
Jeff and I met JSIC of Summit Funding at our bowling center, so when we fell in love with this community and it was time to relocate, we knew we would be calling Summit Funding.
They understand that everyone has a unique situation when buying a home.
He had already helped 2 of our employees get into their own homes. The Summit Funding team exceeded our expectations. It was a seamless experience with great communication from his whole team.
Thank you to Summit Funding for making our buying experience special and memorable.
All right, we're back. It's time for segments, and first up is Tales from the Takes page. Leading off is Brian Mitke, who writes, leading, teaching, celebrating, and launching amid graduation season. Mitke went to the academic Grammys at Chehalis, and it actually sounded pretty cool.
It was cool. When I first read the intro and the headline, I was like, oh, he's going to write about the Athletes of the Year awards, but he did not. He's an academic man.
You're at the academic Grammys.
His daughter did get a plaque, not a plaque. She was a runner-up for the tennis player of the year. Yeah, girls tennis player of the year.
Yeah, that's cool.
It is graduation season. We'll have our top 10 grads for WF West and Chehalis in Thursday's paper.
And graduation is this weekend, right? This weekend?
I was waiting until right before this time. By waiting, I mean I just didn't get to it until right before. Emily saved me. And then I believe, I have to get the date, but yeah, our annual collection of high school graduate photos will be coming out in 2 special sections. I want to say next week, but it could be as early as Saturday. I'll have to find out from Brian.
All right. And then also, there was a column from John McCroskey. Like every column he's turned in the last 3 years, this one is titled, Can't Do That Anymore Because of Woke. I didn't read this column, but I understand it's about the libs wanting to cancel free speech because of the Constitution, or the part of it that McCroskey read once when he tore a page out of Lauren Culp's book because he ran out of toilet paper.
Quite the scene.
McCroskey continued his war on the youths and the libs and cancel culture and learning. And I assumed he crammed a few shots at Pride Month in there, but maybe he's just edging himself until 2 weeks from now when he'll achieve completion in a 600-word explosion of nonsense and perhaps, dare I say, ignorance.
I'll continue to defend John McCroskey. I think he speaks what a lot of people think, and
well, no, he doesn't.
I think
he can't anymore.
Tying together the college campus protests and what that did to commencement ceremonies and things, and the simultaneous request for loan forgiveness is something that would resonate with a lot of the Chronicle's readers and would enrage others like yourself.
I find it ironic that he's writing an entire column bashing college kids for wanting to cancel free speech, when in his last column, he was bashing college kids for exercising their free speech.
All right, that's a take. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I liked that he was responding to
I don't feel like self-awareness is a big part of his writing process.
I think it is. I like John a lot. He's a good man. I liked that he was responding to the letter to the editor writers who had submitted rebuttals to his last column. You don't get that very often. Not enough, in my opinion. I like to see the top half of the opinion page just throwing down with the bottom half of the opinion page.
Well, he's a big punching down guy.
Oh, geez, come on. I do not agree with that.
Okay, well, if you're more worried about somebody punching up and damaging your ceiling, perhaps you should call the roof doctor.
That's pretty good.
Do you want to talk about the roof doctor? You want me to just...
I thought Kody was really excited about the roof doctor promo today.
Just because I accidentally promoted them instead of a different sponsor.
Call back. You got that gaff? Can we work that in?
I could probably pull it up if we had to. It was hilarious. But it's not funny. Is roofing companies that charge you for an estimate. Mm-hmm. No laughing matter. And the roof doctor agrees, because they will always give you a free estimate on any of the roofing services you may inquire about. That could be new roofing or re-roofing, roof repair, roof cleaning, and emergency roofing. And when you go to their site, a little box pops up and it asks, hey, how can we help you today? Some free estimates, some scheduling, some contact info. Is this an emergency? And you just click and I'm not going to click emergency because,
they would I don't want to be here momentarily.
I don't want to be the boy who cried wolf or anything.
It takes one big gust of wind and it could be raining in your living room one night.
And we have had some big gusts of wind. I bet the roof doctor is just
Been busy a bit.
Been busy, working overtime out there, taking house calls.
I saw him putting in work on the ad in the store the other day.
Oh, really?
Damn,
For Jim
really?
Smith, yeah.
Wow.
Kody famously worked for a competing roofing operation, and off mic, he was just bashing everyone he worked with, all of his supervisors, really just like going at them personally.
It was me. I had no
found,
supervisor, dude. It was me and the owner of the company.
well,
and the crew.
a lot to say about them. I don't know.
No, I love
My ears were turning red.
I'm
You can't speak positively
I'm not
about
gonna name
another. We can't speak. Roof doctor, your only roofing option.
I was going to say I loved
County.
my time as a roofer, and it's a fun trade.
Yeah, that's not true at all. I did some roofing.
No, I loved the crew.
Just
They
joking
were
though.
fun.
Cody actually had the opposite take when I asked him that question a long time ago, well, like months ago. He spoke highly of his former, highly and incorrectly of his former
Absolutely.
employer.
And if your roof is under the weather, visit theroofdoctor.com or give them a call at 360-736-0246.
Yeah, it used to be my dream to move up to the roof doctor one day. The big leagues.
Yeah, he had a tryout. He was designated for assignment, and they cut him.
Yeah, I was on 2 weeks, and they cut me.
You got to call up to the roof doctor who went 0 for 3, struck out 3 times. Gonna need to talk to you in my office after the game, kid.
Yeah, that's how it went.
Oh, I was gonna say who did Adna lose their state championship to?
Tri-Cities Prep.
I was gonna say he showed up for the job and got beat by Tri-Cities Prep.
All right. People's
I
champion.
don't even talk on the podcast. You guys I just respond when you talk shit
you're
about
great.
me.
You're great.
Yeah.
No, I'm getting sick of it. I'm going to stop coming on the podcast. People are going to be sad because I bring a nice youth to the podcast.
You do bring a youthful,
Calling us old?
Yeah, I'm calling you old, Aaron. You are old.
Me specifically. That's harsh.
I don't know. Which one of you guys is older? I can't tell.
Oh, there you go.
Aaron's
That's the
older,
nicest thing
Aaron's
you've ever
older.
said.
I can't tell, honestly.
He's got a couple years on me.
Yeah, okay. I knew it.
Let's go. All right. People's champion of the week. We've got the torch run that coursed through Lewis County in support of Special Olympics. One of you like to tell me more about that?
I just remembered Ridley telling me about how she got to ride through Chehalis in Chad's souped-up golf cart. So I'm kind of sad that I missed that assignment.
Oh, that is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, that's what Franklin and Kyle were playing in the other day.
Chad had, I want to say 4, 5, 6, 7 videos that he broadcast during that. It was a really good event. Raises money for local Special Olympics athletes. Had some good photos. Yeah, happens once a year. They run from Napavine to run/walk to Borst Park.
Yeah.
It's a long run/walk.
Have you ever run that route before, Aaron?
I haven't. I looked it up and it felt like it was, I want to say it was like 10 or 12 or 13, 14 miles.
Too far.
Oh, it's an 18-mile route.
Too
Never
far
mind.
for Aaron.
Right there in the reporting. What do you know?
Yeah, look at that. I could do 18 miles.
His fragile knees would give out about 6.
Oh, he's
Who are you talking to?
You, Aaron.
Blood legs
This is
over
like
there.
the 8th round, and he's just getting his licks in because you're tired out.
God.
The body shots.
He needs to go home and take a nap.
God, I do. Jesus, he's just bullying me.
Yeah, how do you like it?
Harder than you got bullied at that old boys college you want to establish.
What? See, Aaron can't take the hits like I can.
He can't.
He can't. He's blushing over there.
Finally, my great worthy opponent. Yeah. Okay, so there's one of our People's Champion of the Week nominees. The other, she was strong, she was tough, she was articulate. Longtime Community Development Director Lee Napier retires from the county. Friday was officially her last day. Her colleagues recognized her for her commitment to Lewis County during a reception at the courthouse on Wednesday. She joined Lewis County in 2012 from Grays Harbor County, where she served as the Planning and Building Director. Steve Mansfield and Bob Russell both had very nice things to say about her. And Mindy Brooks, who currently serves as Lewis County's Senior Long-Range Planner, has been appointed Community Development Director in her stead. Is it like retirement season?
Sure seems like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I have a third nominee, and I think will be likely our winner because it is posthumous. But Bucota Mayor Rob Gordon passed away yesterday, I believe, at the age of 42. He was just diagnosed with stomach cancer last year. It sounds like they caught it pretty late. There was a procession that went through Tenino. I believe it was Tenino. It might have been all the way to Winlock. I'm not sure, but to take his body to the funeral home. And it was pretty long procession, lots of emergency vehicles involved. And Rob Gordon was not mayor for very long, but in the time that he was very good to us, very kind to us, very responsive to us. And it's just an absolute tragedy. He's got kids at home. And I know he was very close with a lot of specifically South Thurston County officials, and you've seen a lot of memorials and condolences online today from them. And obviously he passed too soon, and may he rest in peace.
All right. Shall we drop in our Shayless Outfitters interview with Kelly here? All right. We're joined now by one of our sponsors, Kelly Erb from
Store manager. Put some
Store
respect on her
manager.
name.
From Shayless Outfitters, one of our favorite sponsors. Kelly, how's it going?
It is good. How are you guys?
We're great. Just anxiously waiting the chance to talk to you. And you're going to tell us about third anniversary of the stores coming up. What's going on?
Yeah, we have our third anniversary coming up on Saturday, June 22nd from 10 to 2. If you've never been to this, you need to come out because we have all of our vendors come out. We usually have around 45 to 60 different raffles you could enter. So we have a lot of prizes that we give away. We do a weenie wagon, it's 25-cent hot dogs and soda. We have a fishing pond coming both Saturday and Sunday. The anniversary event is actually only Saturday, but the fishing pond for kids will be Saturday and Sunday. So it's just a lot of fun. We have a lot of good stuff going on, huge sales, and just a lot of giveaways and cool stuff.
Those 25-cent hot dogs, are those just for the kids or those for everybody?
No, that's for everybody. We get people coming in for lunches. They'll come in and buy like 10 hot dogs and take it back to the store or wherever they're at, you know.
You guys are putting Costco to shame.
Good hot dogs, right?
Those are much better prices.
Yeah. And you were mentioning off mic that you guys are a steel dealer now. You got steel stuff in there?
We do. We last week we put together back where our new rain gear, safety, and rubber boots are. We have a steel outdoor section now, so we're carrying everything from chainsaws to weed trimmers and lawnmowers, like everything that still is going to be. It's going to be a big deal. So you'll be able to come in one-stop shop for all your, work boots and safety equipment and chainsaws. Eventually, we'll be servicing them as well, and the whole kit and caboodle.
Do you have the little plastic blades for the weed whacker?
Yes, I would assume so. I know we have a line and everything. I did a video the other day, or earlier this morning, to go post. So, yeah, I would assume we do.
Hell yeah.
That's not your only new brand. You also have Walls Pants, I saw recently.
Somebody's on the
internet. We have Walls Pants. Yeah,
Is Walls Pants
another pair of work pants?
You've seen my style. Is that something I need to look into? Walls Pants?
No, I don't think it's quite your style. Sorry,
man.
Eric.
Sick burn.
Unless you want to be a working, you're more of a slacks and jeans guy.
Oh, that you know pre-pandemic, Eric, because I've been a baseball hat and Chronicle shirt and jeans guy since 2020. So
well, I don't know. Maybe come try these on.
See,
they're kind of
that's
slick.
the only Eric I know, so I'd like to see work pants, Eric.
You get the beaten up one. You guys had the fishing pond there on Saturday too, right?
Yeah, we had it this last Saturday and Sunday. The rain did not stop these kids coming out on Sunday. It was beating hell down. It was crazy. And we had kids come in all the way up until 2 o'clock and after. One little boy got turned away and he's crying. And then another kid came in right before we were closing. And I just couldn't make another kid cry. So I let him go out and fish. And I don't know. He was maybe 2. And he caught his fish. And our guys had to rip the hook out of his mouth, and it's well, we're not cleaning it for you this time because we cleaned them all for everybody, during the event. And so this little boy's holding his fish, and it was still flapping around or whatever, and it smacked him in the face, and he's got blood all over his face.
Boy.
And oh my gosh, it was hilarious.
Hell yeah.
Fish is lucky it wasn't in Morton.
Right.
That's awesome. I just personal note, Kelly is one of our favorite former coworkers. Wouldn't you say, Aaron?
Absolutely.
We miss your design skills. No shots at our current designers, but
My design skills are my fun.
Your design. Let me put it another way. I miss it when I didn't design the paper because you did it.
That's right. Now I do different things at 4 a.m. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What
I love at the Chronicle.
any other cool stuff you got coming up you want to tell us about?
Let's see. This Saturday from 11 to 2, we are doing a pulled pork samples on the Traeger. So we're doing a Traeger demo from 11 to 2 on Saturday. So if you're hungry, come on by. And then let's see. If you haven't been in, we did our remodel. I think you guys have already talked about that over on our clothing side. But today and yesterday we started on our hardline side, which is like our shoes and over by the hardware and toys and all of that section. We are remodeling all of that right now. So it's kind of exciting because we're moving complete aisles all at once. It's kind of nutty. Like we're moving our whole ammo aisle all in one fell swoop.
Now,
That's
Kody,
kind of scary,
on a previous episode, Kody was talking about how he was actually wearing a shirt he'd bought at Chehalis Outfitters. Do you guys have any like a concierge service or like personal shoppers where if Kody was to go in, you would have somebody walk around with him and find the best fits for him? Is that something you could set up?
Oh yeah, heck yeah! Tell him to come find me.
Absolutely. There you go, Cody.
We need to get some shirts from Chehalis Outfitters to have Chad take to Alderson's to put the Chronicle logo on. And
oh my
then
God,
we
there's so
can
much
wear
synergy.
those. A lot of synergy
You
there.
come get some Columbia shirts or Under Armour. We got our polos.
Yeah, well, I mean, Cody and I could wear them because Schwartz, clearly
I could pull it off. Come on.
You'd have to get the key, the T-shirt.
What's your sale that's running now? Is it a Father's Day sale or?
It's Father's Day. Yep.
We've got
Father's Day's next weekend.
I think 6 pages of deals in the current edition of the Chronicle you can pick up.
Cool.
Also, just go to your website. What's your website? Because I know you worked on that too.
It's cndboutfitters.com. Right now, it's in construction, so your best place to find our ad is Facebook also. So our ad is posted there, but we post way more on our Facebook page. It's a better spot there right now.
Awesome.
All right.
Can we make this a weekly call?
We can.
If we give you enough heads
if
up.
if we all remember, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we would never forget an advertiser.
I don't forget anything.
I almost forgot to. I got stuck here. I told Aaron, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll come in because I'll actually leave on time. And then I'm sitting here dealing with some fires. That, like, oh my God.
Hopefully not a real fire.
Well, actually, it was for the fireworks stand. So it kind of is with fire.
She's like, every time you think you're done hearing about something at Chehalis Outfitters, something new just falls out of Kelly's mouth. It's just nonstop.
Yeah, we have like exciting stuff going on, like all the time. So
I always call it a destination shopping experience. So
it really is. I mean, you're going to see your Easter Bunny, your Santa. We had St. Patrick's Day fun. I mean, we have it all.
Would you be offended if I said it's got like peak Yardbirds vibes back when, they had a lot of stuff like that, like Santa landing on top?
No,
things
because
like that? It seems like that.
I want Santa to come and land on the roof, and I want to throw ping pong balls off the guys off of the roof because I want it to be a destination like that, and people remember us, for that, So down the line, I want your kids to be like, my dad took me to the fishing pond and, all that stuff. So
maybe I'll take the boy on Saturday.
that's a compliment. Yeah.
All right, Kelly, thank you so much for joining us, and we will be making this a regular weekly feature.
All right. I'll wait to hear from y'all.
All right. Thanks a lot, Kelly.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, great to have Kelly on. Now we're back with Siren's Banger of the Week, and I call this one, So Much for This County Supporting Freedom. Officers received a report of a naked man running near the intersection of North Washington Avenue and West Center Street just before 4:15 p.m. on June 2nd. That would have been Sunday. The man, a 24-year-old out of Centralia, was arrested and booked into jail for felony indecent exposure. That's a felony?
We got him. Yeah, they did a felony because it's not the first time, and I don't think it's probably wise for law enforcement just to let a serial nudist just parade around the city.
I mean,
I don't know if they actually charged it as a felony. I didn't see it come across the our court prelims report that we get each morning. So I'll check in with Emily on that. But yeah, it was near a Chronicle staffer's home.
wow.
But there's been many reports over the past couple of months of a naked man out there, and I was not convinced it wasn't you, Aaron. And so
Whose home was
this
it
really
near?
takes the heat off. I don't know if that person wants me to say so.
Where was it?
In Centralia.
Okay, so not Brockway Road.
No.
Is that your home?
West of, east of Adna.
All right. And Facebook comments of the week. You ready?
Oh, man, you really mind these today. Oh, I guess that's not so bad.
Yeah, there's only a few on here. On a photo, this is from a week or so ago, U.S. Cellular announced they had a new store manager.
Man,
and
people were
everybody
so
They were
mean.
so mean. The guy, just because he had like a little long hair and looked like he enjoyed himself.
He's
The
in a
guy
grunge
Ray.
band. It says it in the story, but yeah, he's the new manager of U.S. Cellular in Centralia.
Yeah, and this guy comments, LOL, and they let me go after 3 years, even after winning the Pinnacle Club and placing number 2 in the U.S. No hard feelings, guys. Actually, they let go of a lot of people after coming back from our company vacation at Puerto Vallarta, which made me think,
Really, really a telling thing.
what'd you guys do in PV?
I almost took that post down though, because people can be so mean to a complete stranger, and there was nothing weird about the photo. Like he looked like a grunge like rocker, and he's got a full-time job. He's worked himself into management, and you're just gonna jump on Facebook and drop insults on him.
Just goes to
get
show
on there
people
and-
will hate on you for anything.
It was
Yeah.
awful. I really hate it. I'd love to know what those people are doing with their lives too.
Being
Like,
furious on
it's
Facebook, obviously.
10 o'clock in the morning, and you're commenting on the Chronicle's post about a local business promotion, and come on.
One day when that guy's the CEO of, was it U.S.
Wait,
Cellular?
Cellular.
Yeah, he's going to look back and just laugh at those comments.
I hope he didn't see him, because he certainly didn't deserve it. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, those same people are going to be trying to make a call, and it's all going to be getting dropped, and their bills are going to go up
gonna be
100-fold. They'll be like, curious. I don't know what happened. On a story about fish in the river, I don't remember. It's something about salmon, probably. This commenter says, the backwards anti-evolutionary, anti-adaption LTE is the very thinking that will continue to perpetuate the end of salmon. You can stop adaptation. You can't kill the predators to save the prey. It's ass backwards and has never worked. And this guy responds, you need to educate yourself on the subject. And the first commenter says, that's a logical fallacy. But since I have a master's, a BS, and 2 associates in evolutionary biology, adaptation, and environmental science, I can assure you I have.
The letter's more interesting than the comments. The comments are good. The letter was from a gentleman in Napavine who suggested, after seeing sea lions, I think at the Barrier Dam on the Cowlitz River, that
God, don't bring up sea lions.
no, that you kill the sea lions and chop them up and process them into the pellets used to feed hatchery fish. Give them a taste for the sea lion. This guy was really well-meaning. He was a really nice, polite guy, and so don't dunk on his letter. But that was fun.
Just bringing up sea lions makes
I support
blood boil.
No, it doesn't make my blood boil at all. It's just the concept of, but these animals are eating these other animals. What are we going to do? It's
He's trying to lure them up into the Skookumchuck River so he can, I don't know, do weird, twisted things with these sea lions. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Off record right now.
Old people things.
Yes. Feed them breadcrumbs.
Aaron just trotting down there with a loaf of bread. I could see that.
Oh, yeah, that's how I spend my mornings. And then this one's aimed directly at
Kody
you.
has found his lane.
I told you guys one of these days I was going to have enough.
I'm so happy.
I'm sick of it.
On a repost on the Republican story about Republicans who are kind of tired of Donald Trump's shenanigans and felonies, this commenter says, seems the Chronicle post is confirmed Democrat left-leaning liberals, as is Rhino Reichert. As Jesus Christ was tried by satanic-led people, so is Trump. Trial farce is led by like-minded fools. How do you respond, sir?
I had a message from a podcast listener actually recently that made me chuckle because I know I was aware of it, but he put it in a clever way. Really thinks of the Chronicle as a left-leaning rag. Every morning he listens to Chronicle publisher Chad Taylor on Let's Talk About It, the local radio show.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny I mean, it gets used against us in various ways. Chad, as I have to say every time, is very hands-off with the newsroom, lets us have our independence, freedom, and fun. But he is a former Republican politician who is very conservative on his radio show. So I think if we were leaning that far to the left, I'd be replaced.
Yeah, it kind of balances everything out both ways. And then you come on here with some of your own staunch Republican takes.
Oh, I don't have takes. I don't have staunch Republican takes. I have just reasonable takes.
You were just telling Kody how he needs to find himself a trad wife and
You were just telling me how every member of the Republican Party is equal to the KKK.
drink unpasteurized milk and whatnot.
What's a tread wife?
Oh, just get on your Instagram and search it.
I don't know what it is either, Kody.
Instagram will teach me.
That's where you've done most of your learning, I understand. What's in the next edition that maybe I
he's
didn't
just
mention?
trying impotently to land punches here. They're all missing.
He's just sending prayers because I just have him beat. He's trying to throw haymakers.
Finally, yes. You got me.
We'll take a look at Cronline, make a quick run through. We've got the great Jeremiah Newby feature, the Rainier thrower that we were talking about earlier. It's already up, along with a nice interview. You guys are showing dirty pictures to one another. Now you've involved me in it.
This is what Aaron told me.
Tenino Quarry Pool, renovation's nearly finished, and its grand opening is coming up. You want to read all about that?
They finally opened that bar out there?
No. The Adna Fast Pitch team, along with, who was the discus champ? Carson Freeman?
Yeah,
Freeman. Right? They were both honored by the Lewis County Commissioners today.
Nice.
Got some good NVN stuff with local hooks. Bull rider / U.S. Army truck driver is rode in the Roy Rodeo over the weekend. Got a good write-up on that from Dylan Rubin King. I did a big fish write-up today. Centralia teen, Gavin Revel, not sure, caught a 45-pound halibut and won the Westport Derby last week on May 30th.
Pretty big.
That's a pretty good-sized fish. One Aaron will love, because he loves bureaucracy, is there's a new Washington law that requires a fishing license for smelt, crawfish, and carp.
Crawfish?
Were people overfishing those?
No, I think there'd be an argument specifically on the smelt that they're just not being managed all that well, or that your good friends, the sea lions, are eating them.
You need a license to
the thing last year.
Get crawfish out of a creek?
Apparently now, yeah.
Wow.
You can read more about it at Cronline. We've got environmental groups suing over a planned timber sale in the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest. Yeah, that's just what's on the homepage, so mostly from today. A lot of that will be in the Thursday edition. And then there's a bunch of other stuff that, I'll just let it be.
All right. In closing, we're sponsored by Summit Funding, Shayless Outfitters, and The Roof Doctor. Leave a review and rating on Apple Podcast if you like, or send us an email at chroniclenewsdump@gmail.com.
Winter came hard, yeah, she came